Hello, everyone. If you're here and you can hear me, please, I would like to see your comments in the comment section. Hi, everyone. Good evening. Good evening. If you're joining in from whatever part of the world, it's evening here. So, good evening. Hi, everyone. Good evening. Hi, Benedicta. Welcome. We're just going to hold on for um few more minutes so that we can have more people join in and they can be an active part of this. How to become a phonics addiction teacher in 3 days. Welcome to day three. I'm so excited that you're here. I believe that you've been able to take day one and day two, and if you haven't, please check your mailbox. I'm sure it's there, sitting pretty, waiting for you. Today, day three is going to talk about so many things that you probably didn't understand from day one, day two, and it's also going to address your questions, and it's also going to help you get on the next phase of this journey. I am very excited you're here, and I would wait for a few more minutes so that we can have more people join in, as we do not want anyone to miss out on this webinar. Thank you once again for joining in. I'm so excited that you're here. As soon as you join, you can just introduce yourself in the chat box. Tell us your name and where exactly you're from, or where you are joining us from in Nigeria. And if you're out of Nigeria as well, you can do the same thing. So in the chat box, just tell us where you are and where you're from. We'd like to know you, we'd like to address you by your name. In the meantime, while we're waiting for others to join, um, we're gonna see a you're gonna see a barcode on your screen. It also has a link. It's a feedback form. We just want to know how well we've been able to do. We would like also to hear your views. Want to know what we did great during the course and what we can do better. So please, while we wait for others to join in, kindly scan the barcode on your screen. Hi, Benedita. Welcome from Nigeria. Great. Amazing. I'm glad you're here. Um, I Oshikomo. I hope I pronounced that right, Sarah. Joining in from Ogun State. Nice, nice, great, great. I can't wait for you to be the next big diction teacher in Ogun State. That would be a very great privilege. Yeah. Welcome. So please scan this barcode, or you can type in this link. We'd like to hear how well we did, what you took away from day one, day two, and what you think we can do better. We just want to have your feedback. That would help us in future when we're planning this again, or when we're working on this. It would help us improve and do better. Welcome. So we'll just wait for 5 more minutes, and 6:10 on the dot, we're gonna get started. In the meantime, please scan the QR code on the screen to fill in your feedback. Let's have your feedback. Please would like to hear your feedback. You can scan the QR code on your screen and give us feedback on what you've learned so far, day one, day two. This would be very helpful for us as we help other people on this journey. Okay, in 3 minutes, we're going to get started. We hope that more people join in the next 3 minutes. But in the meantime, please do ensure that you scan this QR code and also the website link. If you can't scan the QR code, you can just type in the website link and it will take you directly to a form. It's a feedback form. We just want to hear how well we've done and hear that from you. If you're joining us, please introduce yourself in the chat box. I'd like to know your name, and where you're joining from in Nigeria. Okay, and if you're not from Nigeria, that's fine too. Just let us know where you're from. Once again, thank you so much for joining in, Sarah. Thank you so much for joining in, Benedicta. Okay, we'll start in 2 minutes. 2 minutes from now, we go live. Okay. Fazia from Nigeria, welcome. Thank you so much for joining in. Um, we were saying that if you join in at the stage, please just scan the QR code. It's a feedback form. We want to know how well we've done. Day one, day two has been eventful, I believe. So we want to hear your feedback. We want to hear your thoughts. We want to also learn from you where are the areas of improvement that we can focus on. I'm glad to have you here, and I do believe that it's going to be an amazing time section today. It's a brief section, but it's an impactful one. That's the goal. If you observe all of our courses, we try to make them as brief as possible. Why? Because we want to ensure that you do not forget any of the details. Very important to us that all of the details that are given out in the course are necessary and you're able to remember them. So I promise you this webinar is not going to take long, but I can assure you that you're going to get value for your time. So once again, I'm glad you're here. Thank you for taking our time to join in. Please scan the QR code on your screen right now. The link as well. You can press the link so that you can get on the form, and yes, we'll be able to take it from there. Thank you so much. We'll start now. All right. So Before we get started, let me know how many of you have taken day one and day two. Just indicate in the chat box. I've taken day one and day two, or what day you've taken. Just indicate in the chat box. That would help me also understand um, where to meet you at. All right. I've taken day one and day two. Please put it in the chat box. I've taken day one only, or I've taken day two. Just put that in the chat box. Thank you. Oh, Adeyemi has taken day one only. Uh-oh. Adeyemi, what happened? Why didn't you take day two? Day two is quite interesting, you know. Sarah, day one and day two. Thank you. Adeyemi, you can reach out to us privately after this webinar so we can know how to support you to ensure that you take day two. Oh, Sarah, great. Day one and day two. Great. Amazing. Okay. You couldn't access the link. All right. Um, okay, we'll find a solution to that. But in the meantime, can you tag any of the admins on the group? Please tag any of the admins on the group. They will be able to help you resolve that. Why you couldn't access the link? That's worrisome, but it's okay. It's something that can be fixed. So please tag any of the admin on the link that and tell them what exactly was the problem. Is it that the link wasn't loading? You might want to also support with a screenshot. Okay, a screenshot of what you see whenever you try to load the link. All right, great. Benedita has taken day one and day two. Amazing. Today, we want to focus on how do you get started and how do you profit from this skill. I understand that you signed up probably because you're already a phonics teacher. You want to become a phonics teacher, or you want to become a diction teacher, or an elocutionist, or you are already practicing. But for some reasons, you feel that there are certain knowledge gaps, or you're not making as much money as you would like to make, or you want to scale. Honestly, there are different reasons. Maybe I should take out this time to even ask you, for those of you joining right now, let me ask you, at what stage of this journey are you at? I don't know how, or I've done this before, it didn't work out, or I just need to know, how to teach it. So I'll just like to understand your journey. That would also help me ensure that this webinar meets you at the very point of your need. So you can put it in the chat box and tell me what stage of this journey you are at. Why did you sign up for this course? Why did you think, oh, I can dedicate, my time to this? So let us know why. You can drop that in the chat box. Yes, I like to read your why. I like to know your why. Why did you sign up for this? This would also help me understand um how to direct this conversation and ensure that everyone's need is met, at least to a very large extent. Today we're going to also talk about how do you get started and how do you begin to profit from this skill. Okay, you've learned the differences between phonics, phonetics, diction, elocution. You might even find yourself at that value where you're like, okay, so what exactly should I even be focusing on? Okay, Sarah has Persian knowledge. She wants to improve. Great, great. You're in the right place. Um, you might even find yourself asking questions like, should I really be focusing on phonics? Should I focus on, becoming a diction teacher? Should I just focus on phonics and teaching literacy? Um, I can do both, so why can't I just, you might have several thoughts. Okay, it's good. It's a good one. All right, I'd like to hear more from other people on this call right now. Okay, you're at the stage where you want to really understand how to teach phonics better and attract clients. Great. Hi, Lillian. Oh, public speaking roles. So that means you would like to be an elocutionist. Great, great, great. All right. As you can see, everyone is on a different journey. And that's why this kind of webinars are very important. It helps you understand what journey, it helps you understand how to move ahead on your journey. You don't have to get stuck, trust me. You don't. You don't have to get stuck on this. All right, that's why we're here. We're here to help you. Great. So here I have someone who already knows but wants to improve. I also have someone who wants to understand phonics better. And I also have someone who wants to be an elocutionist. She wants to use it for public speaking. Amazing. Great. So for every of these persons, I can assure you that you're in the right place. And let's just talk about very quickly how you can get started and how you can profit from this skill. Okay, let's discuss what you can do with this skill. Now, Lillian, it was like you spied into my slides, bro. So you can actually become a public speaking trainer. So you can train people to become public speakers. Okay, you can do that with this skill. You can be a full or a part-time phonics, diction, or elocution teacher. So now these three things you must have seen from our day two lesson. Was it day two now? Yes, I think our day two lesson. Or was it day one? Yeah. You must have seen where we had differentiated between phonics, diction, and elocution. All right. So you can be all of this. It's actually a great skill, and you can choose to just niche down and focus on being a phonics teacher, or focus on being a diction teacher, or focus on being an elocutionist. Okay. Now you can also make money from this skill by becoming an online ESL teacher. Okay, you teach ESL online. Great. You can also be an offshore ESL teacher. Okay, an offshore ESL teacher here means a teacher that is employed abroad to come and teach ESL. And there are certain countries that we're going to introduce you to in the next phase of this course that would give you the links where you can go teach ESL outside of Nigeria. Okay, and you can also become an online content creator, especially if you're very camera, you're pro camera. So you can go and begin to teach online, become a content creator, and your niche becomes elocution or phonics. You can also be a private tutor. Oh, as a private tutor, I did this in my early days. I did this in my early years, and I had high net worth clients. I'm talking about politicians' kids here. So you can be a private tutor whereby you teach these kids, elocution. Because a number of high net worth clients, oftentimes they want their kids to be very confident. They want them to be very expressive. They want them to be able to have a neutral accent, not necessarily the British or American. Well, some do want that. Those that want that would send their kids to schools that are owned by Britons or Americans. But some of them just want them to have high command of, or high usage of language, mastery of the language. And trust me, it was a very fun experience while it lasted. So you could become a private tutor to this high net worth clients. Okay? And you could also be a teacher trainer. Now, the interesting thing about all of this is you can be all of it. Okay, maybe minus the offshore ESL teacher because you need to stay in that country. But all of this, you can be all of them. So you can work as a public speaking trainer if you understand elocution. You can work as a full time or part time phonics diction teacher. Quite frankly, I'm more for the part time. I may not be able to help you so much on the full time aspect because I'm pro use your skills to make money. And if you are a full time teacher, it might not be able to yield the kind of amount of money that is possible for you to make. Okay, so you can become a part time teacher. You can be a public speaking trainer. You can be an online ESL teacher. You can be an online content creator. You can be a private tutor. You can be a teacher trainer. In other words, you can make different amount of money from each of this. Now, just let me blow your mind. Imagine that as a public speaking trainer, you make in a month, say you make 200,000. As a part-time teacher for phonics, diction, or elocution, you also make another additional 200,000. Let's just assume you work with maybe 3 schools or you work with 4 schools. Then, as an online ESL teacher, you make let's just make this figures of maybe $500. Are you calculating your money that way? Then I will skip the offshore part because, like I said, you can't merge the offshore ESL teacher with the rest. Then for the online content creator, you're building your personal brand, which could open you more to speaking engagements, trainings, clients, and all. That's I may not be able to put a price on it, okay, but depending on how great you are with your online content, it could actually go viral and push you into the eyes of those that should see you. And before you know it, you become an influencer in that point. In fact, the moment you can make it big in that niche, you might even retire the rest of all that I have just said. Okay? And you become an influencer there. So let's assume you grow your brand steadily, and by month 6, you're able to make 5,000 USD. As a private tutor, when I used to do private tutoring, I charge per hour. And this was way back. The last private tutoring I did was in 2017. And as of 2017, I was charging 10,000 per hour. And I ensured that I did not work more than 4 hours every week. Okay? So right now, this is 2025. You name your price. So I'm going to leave you to fill in the gap. As a teacher trainer, every workshop I do, if it's physical workshop, if you are part of our partnering schools, that is, you're a partner with us. So in other words, our teachers come to your school. That is when I can be very lenient with the pricing and say, okay, you know what, let's do 50,000 for one day. But if you're not part of our partnering schools, I'll give you a course outline and you choose what exactly you want to get your teachers trained for, and that's the invoice you would get for it. The pricing on that list is what you get as your invoice. So what am I trying to say? I'm saying that I don't want to scare you. I don't want to make it look as if I'm exaggerating, because I am not. But the good thing is, if you're good, you're really good, and you understand why you're doing this, you can easily make ₦1,000,000 per month within now and the next 6 months, because you need to build stamina. You need to put yourself out there. You need to be good. There's so many other aspects by which you can make money, but I don't want to dwell outside of what I have on this list. But that is the frank truth. So if you actually really do think that this is something you want to pursue in 2026, I can tell you that for a fact you are in the right place. Okay, so for those of you that have taken the day 2 course, you would realize that we had talked about 21 vowel sounds. And I said that some school of thought would say that this is 20. So I want to just dwell a bit more on the 21st vowel sounds. This is also because you might find yourself in arguments with phonics teacher. I remember back in the day, I would have some, I don't know whether I'll call them formal phonics teachers or wannabe phonics teachers. I don't know, but and they'll come argue and say, "Why would you say letter I sounds A? Letter I sounds E?" And it was always fun. What I love those kind of arguments. There's this confidence you have when you go into arguments, especially when you know you can defend it. So, and I'll say, yeah, I can explain if you have a dictionary. Now, interestingly enough, the only dictionary that recognized this 24th sound for a very long time was Longman Dictionary. Then in 2018, I think, yeah, 2018, we had the was it 2018 or 2019 now? I think it's 2018. We had the advanced learner revised Oxford advanced learners. There was a revised form, and it was updated. And I was so glad that I had stuck to my teaching of 21 sounds since 2014, when the only proof I had for that was a Longman Dictionary. So, and in 2018, Oxford was able to keep up, and they were able to include the 21st vowel sound. So, what's the 21st vowel sound? I have put that on the screen here, so it could be very helpful. I also realized that in the day two, there was an error in writing the sound, and it was not really differentiated. Now, letter I, as you may want to call it, is depicted in three forms when it comes to phonetics. So we have it depicted with a dot on top, a dot on top. This dot on top is called E, just very short E, like E. Don't stress it, don't force it, E. Then we have the A, very short, A. Then we have the E. So I'm going to take it again, E, A, E. Now, I've helped you identify where these words can be found. So, first, they can be found in words that end in Y. So, the first E can be found in words that end in Y. Let's look at some examples. Easy, easy. There's a long E there, but that's not the focus. I want you to focus on the Y. Z, Z, Z. Baby. There's also, the B there. Okay? Now, we have the A. Please don't call it A. That's a different sound. It's just very short because it's a short sound. It's called A. This is the sound you will hear some phonics teacher call E for you. It is not E. It is A. The one that is E is the one with the dot. The one without the dot is A. Okay? And it is found in words that have letter I, letter E, or AI. So here are some examples. Sit. So whenever for those of you especially teaching phonics, who want to teach phonics, this is very important for you. So you don't go and say SIT, sit. It is sit. Sit. Sit down, guys. Sit down, everyone. Sit. Because the letter I there sounds A, not E. The next thing we have there is plantain. Interestingly, we all call it plantain, unless you come from Brazil or the Caribbeans. Those are the ones that tend to call it plantain and get offended because we Nigerians call it plantain. Okay, so what is plantain? Tin, A. Can you hear the A? A. Plantain. I deliberately use this example because I know that every Nigerian will be able to relate to this. Plantain, A. So the AI there sounds A. Okay? And the last example here is E. E. That's a long sound. And it is found in words that have EE, EA, IE, EI, like seeds. I'm going to play a funny word. I'm going to do a funny word play now. Sit on your seat. Sit on your seat. As a non-phonics teacher or someone who didn't attend this webinar, you might be tempted to say sit on your seat. No, it is sit on your seat. There we have the EA sounding E. We also have receive. Mind you, even though that's not the focus, but I want you to look at that transcription. Can you see the letter E in what you call receive? It's not receive, it is re, because the transcription of the E sounds A. So it's receive. Okay, but the focus is on the E. Focus on the E. Leave that one. Just focus on the E. Receive, not, you know, not to receive. Receive. So the EI there sounds E. I'm going to take a very brief pause here. I just want to be sure that you're following me. And I want us to do an activity very quickly in the chat box. I want you to drop any word that you think that has the E sound, A sound, and the E. So three things: the E, the A, and the E. So I'm going to tell you if you're right or wrong. Don't use Google. No Google. No chat GPT here. So drop it in the comment section and I will tell you if you got it right. Yes. Okay. Yeah. Party. Yes. Paid. Please. Bravo. Bravo. 100% correct. Party is a short E sound. Pit, the A sound. And please. Amazing. See? It's that easy. It's that easy, guys. Well done, Eunice. Welcome. Yes, I like to see others make a try. Lucky, yes, that is E, correct. Yes, the short E sound. So let's have the A and the E. Nice, I have very intelligent students in this class. I love it. Yes, bit, exactly, bit, not beat, bit. Okay, Benedicta, the aspect of say, I think it will make me now stress on something which I should have mentioned. But say is not totally correct, but I understand why you put it there. Okay, yes, Agbola beat, correct, beat. So we have Agbola's correct answers are lucky, bit, beat. Amazing. Now, Benedicta, let me quickly explain why say is not correct. Okay, now the short the E sound here, is oftentimes with Y that ends after a consonant, not a vowel. So that's why you would notice that we have the easy, it ends, just after a consonant, which is letter S. Baby also ends just after a consonant, which is B. If it were a vowel like say, or let me think of a word that has okay, it's not coming to my head right now. But if it were a vowel like say, or any other Y that comes just after a vowel, it doesn't take that. Those are diphthongs. They have the A sound, which is a diphthong. What this has is the short E. Easy, baby, lazy, things like that. Okay? Yes. So, Benedicta, I want you to try again. Yes, I want you to try again. Remember the rule? It has to, yes, lazy, correct. It has to end with, yes, you're correct. It has to end with a consonant before the Y, exactly. So train is also not very correct here. It's also a diphthong. It is a. Okay, Sarah, let's see yours. Freezy, yes, Freezy. Kate, please, amazing. Correct. Correct. All right, Benedicta, I would read yours when you drop it. You've gotten the first one, which is a short E. I want you to try the A now and then try the E. Okay, but thank you for putting out that, because it helped me to remember that there are exceptions to the rule, and the exception is if your Y is coming after a vowel sound, it would not sound E. It would take a diphthong. Okay. All right. Great. So let's move on. Like I promised, we're not going to take so much time on this webinar. So let's move on. Let's talk about diction focus, how to get started on our newly acquired skill. Now, diction focus is something we use at Store Legacy. We use it to explain certain, we use it to spotlight certain, mispronounced words, especially words that are used in our everyday collocation, everyday speaking. So we coined this phrase diction focus, and we use it to teach students oftentimes on the assembly ground. Sometimes we just put it on their board where they have the spellings focus for the week. So we just include ours there as the diction focus for the week. It's just a style we adopt at our legacy, and I thought it would be great to share it with you. So we have the owl family. The owl family. There we have vowel, towel, bow. I've put the American and the British transcription there, but it sounds the same thing. It's the same thing. Vowel, towel, bow. If you're still pronouncing it vowel, you're wrong. If you're still pronouncing it towel, you're wrong. If you're still pronouncing it bowel, you're very wrong. So going forward from today, whenever you find yourself speaking and you want to refer to the five vowel sounds, ensure that you pronounce it as vowel. And when you're talking about what you tie around your waist when you're done in the bathroom, please, it is towel. It is not towel. The same thing appears in bow, not bowel. Another very common mistake we have is the silent letters family. Here we have sword, not swore, not swore. The W there is silent, so sword. Be conscious of that. Then we have beret. This is a very interesting one because all the time you hear people say beret, beret. Nope, it originates from a French word, so it's called beret. Oftentimes the French language has the letter T at the end of the word silent, so that's why you hear words like beret, bouquet. Um, um, there's some mache. Yeah, so those words happen to um, have silent T. Then we have sachet. Yes, another French word here. We try to encourage students or pupils that please do not say sachet of milk. It is sachet. I want a sachet of milk. Okay. Then we have another common one, which is listen. Listen. Remember what I taught you about the letter I that sounds A. This is another example of it. So it sounds A here, not E. So it is listen. Listen to me, not listen. Some even worsen it and say listing. Like they install the T that is supposed to be silent, they install it into that word. So it is listen, not listing. Okay? Moving on very quickly. Another set of words that I've observed that are commonly confused is the use of bath and bathe. Bath, bathe. Interestingly, even in terms of grammar usage, these words are commonly confused as well. I don't know why, but it's necessary for us to also understand these things. Remember, in day one, we had shared that one of the ways to be a very successful phonics teacher or diction teacher is also to have a grasp of good grammar. So if your grammar is not very good, you would also struggle with certain things. So I want you as an assignment after this class to go check out the meaning of bath and the meaning of bathe and when should we use them. Okay, when should you use bath and when should you use bathe, and look at the difference in pronunciation. So if you're trying to say have you had your bath, that does not carry the spelling that with the e spelling. But if you're trying to say I bathed, I bathe, okay, then you have to add or include the letter E, not the sound, the letter E. Okay, so these are commonly confused words. Please research after this class to know when and where to use it. Another commonly confused word is look and look. Look and look. If you remember day two, we had talked about the short and long O sound, and we have referred that we have O and oo. So it is pronounced look. Look at me, not lu. If you can observe my lips, I didn't say oo. I didn't put my mouth out. I made it sound. I made it go round. Look. Oh, oh, it's an O sound. So it's look. And then we have look. Look. Okay. Please take note as well because we use this every day. Another common mistake is people still call Google Google. Although I wonder why. I still don't know why. But Google is Google. Google is the one you have to use, the glasses to protect your eyes from naked fire or something. Okay. Then another commonly confused word is pronounce. Pronounce on its own. When you ask someone to pronounce, that's a verb. Then pronunciation, that is a noun. So oftentimes people they don't even realize that the spelling is different. If you're just noticing, congratulations. Yeah. So it is pronounce ows, ow, that's a sure the pronounce and pronunciation. Two different pronunciations. Okay. So don't get tempted when you're speaking and you're saying, hey guys, it's time for your pronunciation. I hear that a lot. You hear people say, it's time for your pronunciation. No, 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 no. It is not now. It is none. None. Pronunciation. So these are commonly confused words that as a diction teacher, as an elocutionist, you want to look out for. Okay. So let's talk about how to get started on your newly acquired skills. I've talked about how you can make money from your skills. Now let's talk about how you can get started with your newly acquired skills. Get ready, guys. So first, you want to determine where you want to start from. Do you want to start online? Do you want to start offline? Do you want to do ESL or do you want to go abroad? Okay. Number two, you have to match your determination to your knowledge resource and develop that resource. I'm gonna be honest with you. If I tell you, oh, the 1 million naira I mentioned that you could make in a month, you make it just like that, or you make it just because you're done with this class. That's not a very honest opinion. No. So your determination has to match your knowledge resource. I remember stating in day one that after I attended a 3 day course, I had to reinvent and have a lot of understanding. And for a year, on my bedside, I had my Bible and my dictionary, like both of them on my bedside. I was devouring content. I was making avid research. And this was not a time where research was very, I didn't even have an Android phone. I can't remember if Android phone was a thing in 2014. I don't think so because I didn't have one. Yeah. So I was using this Java phone, this techno, button and all. So it was not a thing. It's not, resources was not as available as it is today. So you have to ensure that your determination matches your knowledge resource and you develop that resource. Okay? You have to also map out a functional and a structured curriculum, especially if you're going to build a personal or a business brand around this. Okay? So you have to map it out. You can also reach out to us. We can help you with that. Now, you also have to leverage on research and brand positioning to get clients. One of the things you do not want to do is you do not want to misrepresent your brand. So ensure that if this is what you want to do, you want to build a brand as a solid phonics or diction teacher, get a different sim for it. For instance, if you know that you're into the tailoring profession, please do not use that same line for your brand. Create a different profile for it. Position yourself well. Remember, I told you that you can get high net worth clients. So you want to attract those kind of clients, then ensure that you're not coming across as beggarly. You're not coming across as unqualified. Okay, so make sure that you position yourself rightly so that clients can actually take you seriously. Okay, so what's the next step? How can we help you move from here? Some of you have identified that you want to talk about phonics. You just want to be a phonics teacher. And phonics here refers to you want to be able to teach literacy. You want to be able to teach phonics. Let me explain how you can use this only phonics skill to make money. So aside from teaching kids that are learning to read, okay, you can teach kids that have what we call dyslexia. Dyslexia is a learning it's a learning disability that's where kids struggle to read. They often find the letters confusing and distracting. Okay, so as a phonics teacher, you can help kids, with dyslexia. That could be your only focus, teaching kids how to read, whether online or physically. You can do that with schools that have early years. You can do that with kindergartens. Just focus on kindergartners. Now, you can also do that with adult education. So, where you have adults that are learning how to read, okay, you just teach them. I remember my first client when I began to do private tutoring. My first client was the niece of the man of that family. The man happened to be a lecturer, a very high profile lecturer. So his niece was brought from the village to live with them, and he was like, nobody lives in my house and they are not educated. So at that time she was 16 or so. So oh no, that was not my first client, that was my second client. My first client was actually a non-teaching staff in the University of Ibadan. Yes, a non-teaching staff in the University of Ibadan. That was my first client. So that particular person was my second client. So you can imagine these were adults, right? Exactly. So you can focus on just teaching phonics and literacy. All other things about intonation, all of it doesn't concern you. Your own focus is phonics and literacy. Okay, so in the premium phonics teacher course, we're going to teach you how to become a phonics teacher, the A to Z, how to become a well sought after literacy or phonics teacher. Who are your target audience and where do you find them? We're also going to teach you how to build a brand as a premium phonics teacher. Now, the cost for this is 50,000, and it's self-paced. That means you can take it at your schedule. We're not going to rush you. You take it at your leisure. You take it as determined or as hungry you are. Okay. But we are going to also help you. You'll be supported by the community. So when you have questions, you can always join the community. We'll put you on the community. There you have teachers that will be able to answer your questions. Now, the good thing is that there's a 12-hour discount. So between today, right now, the end of this webinar, and tomorrow, the discount would provide you access to pay for this course at 30,000 naira only. Okay, so you can take a screenshot of this account details, and as soon as you're done, please chat any of the admins on the group with your receipt and say, okay, yes, I have this, and the next thing would be we'll give you access to this course. Once again, the premium phonics teachers course, which is actually 50,000 after 12 hours from now, can be gotten at the rate of 30,000 in the next 12 hours. Okay, you would focus on just becoming, on teaching literacy. It does not expose you to so many things that can make you feel so worried and scared of how do I get started. It focuses on literacy. Your target audience are very much, available all over the world. Okay. Yes. So after 12 hours, it reverts, sorry, to 50,000 naira. No discount any longer. Okay. So the next thing we want to move on to is the premium teachers course, understanding and teaching phonetics. This is this is deeper. This is detailed. This is more stimulating. I have to be honest with you, as a literacy phonics teacher, if you're serious with your course back to back, you can finish it in one, maybe 3 days. But you see, the premium diction teacher course, it will stretch you. Okay, and that is why I said if you're not very sure that you can be stretched, maybe due to so many reasons, just stick with phonics. With phonics, all your clients are kids that are learning to read, adults that are learning to read. Those are your clients. You can do ESL too, by the way. Okay, so ESL means English as a second language. Yeah, so that this means countries where people do not speak English as the first language, you can teach these kids, all right? But you see this one, diction teacher course, understanding and teaching phonics. Personally, I take this course live. We don't record this. We teach this one live. Okay? Because it's something that helps you understand the nitty-gritty of phonetics. Okay? It helps you understand the English A to Z of English language phonology, helps you understand readings, helps you understand stress and syllables, who are your target audience, where can you find them, how to become a well sought after diction teacher, how to build a brand as a premium diction teacher. Now, there's this part two of this course. This one is recorded. We have it already. This one is for elocutionists at the same time for diction teachers. So we try to ensure that even if you say I just want to be a diction teacher, we're like, yeah, we get it, but please add elocution to it because you never can tell. Okay, so this one is Speak Your Way to Success, the Elocution Mastery course. All right, so those two together are things that we try not to separate. Okay, now this one focuses on introduction to elocution. It also talks about British RP. British RP refers to received pronunciation. It talks about Gen M. Gen M means American English. It also talks about introduction to intonation. It talks about how you can teach fluency, and then it also talks about public speaking practice. So this course, the Premium Diction Teacher course, and Speak Your Way to Success, the Elocution Mastery course, the current investment as of today right now is 300,000. Like I said, it's like a 1 month course. Okay, the first 3 months is a live class. The first 3 weeks, sorry, is a live class. Then the subsequent weeks, you take that one at your pace. Okay, at your pace. All right. So the current investment is 300. However, for the next 48 hours, that is 2 days between now and the next 2 days, we're giving a discount of 230,000. But if you're here, if you're currently on this webinar, if you're not part of those that will be watching it later, and you want to take advantage of this course, please pay 200,000 only. Okay, pay 200,000 only. It is intensive. Please, I want you to take note of this. This particular one is intensive. It is not you show up today, you won't show up tomorrow. No. So please ensure that you understand what it takes before you pay or you try to make any commitment. Ask yourself, what am I going to do that would make next year different for me financially? Okay. So if this is what you want to do that would make the following year different financially, then please by all means take up this opportunity. I am making that personal appeal to you. I would also state that if you love teaching and you really think I can do this for a long time, I like this field. I'm not a tech person. Everybody's doing tech now, right? But you're like, I'm not a tech person, or I've been a teacher for a very long time, and I kind of think I can focus on this direction. Please take advantage of this at this time, okay? And try as much as possible to enroll for these courses. I'm going to take it again. I'm going to take it again. So we have, just give me a minute. So we have the premium phonics teacher course. This is focused at literacy, and your target audience here are kids and adults that are learning how to read, or kids with a learning disability called dyslexia. Okay, it's 50,000 after 12 hours. But right now, you can take advantage of it by paying 30,000 naira only. Then we also have the premium diction teacher course, which is in tandem with Speak Your Way to Success. So whether you want to be a public speaker or you want to just be a diction teacher, we deliberately did not separate it. It's deliberate. Okay? We want you to take both of those courses. All right? The first part of the course is a live class. Consistently, we take you every day for 3 weeks. Trust me. It's not even convenient for any of our teachers or myself to do this. But that's the kind of investment. We want you to be that thorough. Why? We understand that this place is where a lot of people fumble. And you can actually build a brand, build a whole phonetics consulting firm with this. So we want to ensure that you're very thorough while you're doing this. You can also build a consulting firm with phonics, by the way. Let me mention. You can build a you can be known as the literacy person. When it comes to literacy, everybody just say, "Oh, go to Sarah." Oh, you don't know that lady called Sarah? She's the one of those top literacy person. Oh, go to Benedicta. Those people would help you. See, another beautiful thing is this: if you have kids and you have this knowledge, honestly, you have given your kids an edge. I'm a mom as well, and I remember that um for a very long time I wasn't very serious because I was busy chasing money and working. So I wasn't very serious with my son reading until when he turned that was when he turned 3. So the moment he turned 3, I began to take it very seriously. I was like, okay, we need to fix this now. And all it took for me to teach my son how to read was 2 weeks. 2 weeks. I didn't stress it. It was 2 weeks. Well, maybe that was why I was so relaxed because I know the skill. I have the skill. I know the method. So I knew that all I just needed to do is find time. And within 2 weeks, it was reading. I didn't have to sit down again to explain anything. It was reading within 2 weeks. It was spelling within 2 weeks. So, as a parent as well, this can be very helpful for you. And if you're homeschool, perfect. Okay, so if you're homeschool, perfect. All right, so that's the end of this webinar. I am so glad that you attended today. If you have any question, please drop it in the chat box. We'll be here for another 1 minute. If not, it's great to call it a day. Please leave your feedback on the WhatsApp group if you can. Okay, leave your feedback on the WhatsApp group. I promise you that this opportunity would come again, but it will come at a higher price. So after this course, please ensure that I can promise you that you wouldn't pay for any other course on this subject matter again. As long as you're in this community, you won't pay. You won't. This is your one stop. Okay. So thank you so much for joining us today. You can drop your thoughts, your questions. I'll be here for the next 2 more minutes and I would be glad to take your questions. So you can drop it in the chat box. Thank you so much, everyone, and do have a wonderful day. Bye bye.